What's good, curl friends? Happy Saturday. I am super excited to be here with you today, curl friends, because we are doing a very special Curl Friend Chronicles with one of, I'm not going to put no adjectives in front of that, one of my curl friends, Jazzy. Y'all love her. I love her. I see she is here, so I'm going to bring her up. I met her in person time, and so we knew that we needed to go ahead and do something together. We did something impromptu before, and I'm just gonna put this out here and say that this is going to be the beginning of many more opportunities for us to collaborate and work together. But I am so excited that we're going to be here today. I see that she is hopping on now, and we're going to get into answering some of your questions that you have about natural hair care and products. And I know a lot of you know her, but I am going to, I see my curl friend is here. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself for curl friends that may not know her. And then I like to always ask what you love about your natural hair. So Jazzy, thank you for joining us this morning. I know our time zones are different. So I appreciate you bearing with me and then hopping on early to get into this curly conversation. So please introduce yourself to our curl friends that have joined us today, and then let us know what you love about your natural hair.
Good morning, curl friends. If you guys don't know me, I'm Jazzy Frazier on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. And I consider myself a tight curl consumer advocate, not only a content creator, but someone that wants to go out and get the answers for us and make it accessible to us in the curl community instead of searching and trying to find stuff where it should be accessible, just like every other hair care. So that is me. I love my natural hair because of the versatility, not only because of my curls, but because of the things that I can do differently with my hair and styling. It's unique to me, it's unique to my culture, and no one else can do it.
That is so very true. And we did have that conversation on versatility when we were here in person. Just wanted to point out that both of us are being very versatile this morning in the styles that we have chosen for our hair. So we are real life testaments that you can enjoy your natural hair in this natural state and still have amazing styles, still have fun, and still really enjoy the whole process of natural hair care. So yes, kudos to you for embracing the versatility, and then not only embracing it, but then also showing other curl friends what is possible. Because curl friends, you can wear a wash and go all the time if you want, but then you can also play and have fun and experiment, and none of it has to be perfect. None of it has to be the same all the time. This journey, we need some foundational things in order to make sure that we are appropriately caring for our hair, but this journey can be fun. This journey can be enjoyable. I mean, it's hair. It's an accessory, just like every other accessory and our items of clothing that we, yes, ma'am.
I couldn't do it. I tried. I couldn't do it. Mm-mm.
Yes, ma'am. Just like every other accessory that we play with and have fun with, curl friends. If you don't get anything else from us, please enjoy the liberty of embracing, exploring, playing with, and even sometimes messing up your natural hair. Because, I mean, that's all part of the process, and that's all part of the journey. So give yourself a break, grant yourself some grace, and have fun. So, oh, I didn't introduce myself. So if we haven't had the opportunity to meet, I am Dr. Kristal Cunningham. I'm a clinical pharmacist, transformational curl care specialist, and the founder of Bold Kulture Beauty. As part of my mission to help curl friends save their time, build confidence, and make natural hair care easy, I've learned on this journey that sometimes we have struggles, A lot of times they are common, and sometimes we feel like we are alone or we don't know how to voice our comments or concerns about our natural hair. And so Curl Friend Chronicles is a way for me to pay it forward, to help normalize some of the struggles, but not leave you there. So then we normalize these struggles, but then also give you tools, strategies, things in a lot of cases you can implement right now to help you make natural hair care easy. So welcome to all my curl friends who are joining me today. To those of you who are new that I haven't had the opportunity to meet, thank you for joining us. And then for those of you that rock with me all the time, thank you as well for being here as we get into this curly conversation. Now, I love organic combo, but I do know that we have a couple of questions that people have dropped in. Do you want to start with the questions, or is there something burning that we need to talk about on this morning?
So the topic of concern is products and ingredients. So as a doctor, and you also worked where? Where did you work?
So I have been a clinical pharmacist 17 years and counting, guys. I worked in a healthcare setting. I did a lot of clinical research. I worked in the OR pharmacy. I was responsible for compounding all of the, or many of the medications that were used in the operating room. I was responsible for monitoring the use of medications in the operating room, and I was responsible for making sure that you received the appropriate pre-post antibiotics and medications after your surgeries. So I am well versed in medicine. I am well versed in research. I was a preceptor for both residents and students, and I also have probably 3 pieces of published work that I worked on as co-investigators in the research realm when it comes to pharmacy and medication. And so I am super excited to apply all those skills and all of that talent to natural hair care. I think one of my, I'll say, superpowers is being able to take things that seem very, very complex and break them down so that people are able to understand them. And I think a lot of times we view natural hair care as very, very complex, whether we've made it that way on our own or whether the messages that we've received about natural hair care have made it that way for us. So I like to take the things that we seem to think are overwhelming or complex and break those things down so that we can better understand natural hair care, so that we can ultimately get to a place where natural hair care becomes easy. And so that is a little bit more about me and my background and where I have how I've gotten the skill and the knowledge that I have, and then how I apply that to natural hair care. Because science is in everything.
So we love someone that is truly informed and has the documentation to back it up. So y'all know I'm not just out here talking to anybody. Like when I got with Dr. Kristal, I was like, oh, this is going to be a great partnership because you have the documentation to back it up, because people love certification these days. And allow us to have this this information at our fingertips that should be accessible to Black women. What I'm going to dive in deeper with other people that I partner with lives is getting Black women that accessibility free of charge for our natural hair care. Why is everything else accessible on the internet and at our fingertips, but our natural hair care? And kudos, and I love the content creators, all the influencers, and everybody that was out there documenting their journey through video, through photos, and just telling us what they were doing. Whether it was Black Onyx, I don't know if you guys remember Black Onyx, but that is the owner of Allocate Naturals. And she was one of the first pioneers on YouTube that was talking about the lock method and where she got it from. And it was from her ancestors. In history, her family told her, this is what we did for our hair. This is, so we took on like family rituals or family anecdotes on how to take care of our hair through an influencer who then turned it into a company and paved the way for other Black women to bring their stories to light on what they used on their hair and give us products to this day. So because of that, I want to focus more on that aspect, because where do you go? Yes, we're scouring the
Mm-hmm.
internet, and whose fault is that? Why aren't we
Mm-hmm.
able to just look up what's the best products for Kristal? What's the best products for? Like, why? That should be like on the Google search, but you have to do the research on your own, and we're all out here looking and scattered, and it could be made into a meme, it could be made into a reel, but the deeper issue is, why isn't it?
And that is very, very, very true. And girlfriends, you don't have to scour anymore because I have a curated list of products. You don't even have to Google it. Just go to boldsculture.com and hit shop. And you can see products that are actually good for you. And one of the things that I do, because I am a pharmacist, one of the things that I do, because I have been very concerned about what I put in my body, that is actually how I started my natural journey from when I was pregnant, and just all of the information that was coming out about relaxers and straighteners and endocrine disruptors. I was like, listen, I'm gonna make an intentional decision to take better care of me so that I can take better care of my children. And that was the decision that actually pushed me to being natural, or embracing this natural journey. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and roses when I first started, but the point is, because I am a pharmacist and ingredients and medicine matter to me, I took it a step further than to be intentional about the products I used on my hair, the things I put in my body, and I've applied that same care and concern to the products that I put in the store, because I know if I was a person with that concern, there are many more people out here with those same concerns. Now, I do know the media and the internet can sensationalize a lot of things, but that's why it is important to be informed and intentional in the decisions you make and the products you select. So part of me paying it forward is I do have this curated list. You don't have to pay for it. Well, if you want to use the products, you got to pay for it, but you don't have to pay for the list. You can look at the store and see what is there. And I have done the research and looked at the things to show, okay, I believe in this thing. It does what it says it's going to do. And it is as safe as you can assess by just looking at what is on it and doing some other research in order to be able to use it. And so I've done that work, and I put those products here in the store. And so that is part of me giving you access. I think when I say that Bold Kulture Beauty gives you access, we need access to quality products. And every beauty supply that you go in is not going to have quality products. It's amazing that some of the things that I'm familiar with, people will walk in the store and be like, I've never even heard of this. And I'm like, how have you never heard of it? But it's because we don't always have access to quality. We don't always have free access to certain information. And so my mission is to give you that access so that you can properly care for yourself, so that you can be empowered and informed and intentional with the products that you select, and so that you can take some of the guesswork out of figuring out what works for you and what products are good when it comes to caring for your hair, and reducing, because we can't always eliminate every risk, but reducing some of the risks that come along with other products that we have used historically in the past.
So can you pin the comment with your link? I put it in the comments.
Okay.
Can you pin that? That way they have it. For everyone that is joining in now, let's dive in. Let's get to these questions. Make sure that you drop your questions about ingredients, what's safe, what's not safe. I did send you, I did forward you a couple of questions, but on the live before, people were asking how often should they clarify with gray or silver strands. And I know that when it comes to certain ingredients, does it affect gray hair differently than regular hair?
So gray hair is a little bit. I got me some, but you can't see it now because I kind of laid this back.
Girl, the glitter, the accent, the strands.
they're coming in bold and beautiful. I was like, whoa, no, I might go back to my wash and go only because it's gonna cover it up. Can't let the folks know how old I really am, right? But gray hair by nature is a little bit more coarse. It is a little bit, I'm not gonna say, it just has a mind of its own. And so it might not operate to the rest of your hair operating and responding just because of the nature of that hair once it has released its pigmentation. We'll say that. Once it has started that journey to coloring. And so in some instances, it may feel a little bit more coarse. It may feel a little bit more wiry. It may respond different to certain products because of the cuticle layer and just the way the hair is now being able to absorb or release moisture. You can clarify. So I would say clarifying depends on your needs before it necessarily depends on the characteristics of your hair. So what are you doing to your hair? What products are you using? Where do you live? In Florida, it is hot as the devil. And it keeps getting hotter. And so I sweat in my head. So where I may have only washed my hair once a week or once every 10 days, I might need to wash a little bit more frequently. If I'm using products that are heavier, like I slicked my little hair down over here because I was trying to be cute for y'all. Like if I'm doing things like this, then I know it is necessary for me to clarify more consistently. So first, find out what your hair actually needs in terms of clarifying, because it could be whether it's gray or not, you might just be clarifying too much. And so first understand what your hair needs and then set a frequency or a schedule for clarifying that would empower you to get the best results. And then also take into consideration, I think sometimes we think that clarifying is bad because we actually feel what our hair actually feels like. I'm gonna let y'all let that sink in. So we don't like the feeling of certain things, but in a lot of situations when our hair is clean, that's what clean hair feels like. So we have to also take that into consideration as well. But make sure you are clarifying based on the frequency with which your hair needs it. Make sure that you are aware and understand how your hair should look, feel, and behave when you wash it so that you better understand the results that you're getting, and so that you won't misjudge a product or misjudge a result because you think it did something that it did not, when in reality it may be doing something that it is designed to do. So make sure you take those things into consideration, and then make sure that it is in a rhythm or with a regularity that meets the needs of your hair or promotes an environment that allows your scalp to thrive. And so I would say colored or gray or not, I wouldn't clarify on a weekly basis because it's not necessary. Unless you are putting some really strange things in your hair, that's not necessary. Or unless you are going through like a detox period where you have consistently been using heavier products that aren't water soluble, products that cause buildup, products that are weighing your hair down and causing you to not get the results that you want. Then there may be a period of time where you need to go through this detox process where you are clarifying on a more consistent basis. But in general, you probably won't need to clarify once you've gotten to a place where that hair has been fully detoxed. I wouldn't say more than like maybe, I feel like once a month maybe pushing it, but it also depends on where you live, what you're using, what you're doing, and then 6 weeks. So if you're feeling like you have gray hair, and my question would be, how often are you clarifying? First of all, if you feel like there's an adjustment that you need to be made, what is leading you to think that you need to clarify as frequently as you are clarifying already? Those are some things that you need to consider. And then is that window that you've given yourself to clarify your hair realistic or appropriate based on where you are on your natural hair journey, how much buildup you may or may not have in your hair, and what the environment and your lifestyle, how that influences your need to clarify your hair. So it might not be the answer that everybody wants, but it is individualized, y'all. And so some things you really have to, this is why, one, it's important to know some important things about your hair. It is important to understand the products that you're using or applying to your hair and what effects they may have on your hair. And it's important to understand what your environment and your lifestyle, how that affects your hair. So in general, like I don't clarify my hair all the time, But if I see a thing happening to my hair, I'll be like, okay, this is happening because I need to clarify my hair. So you can clarify it every 6 weeks. I feel like 4 weeks is sometimes pushing it, especially if your hair is already detoxed. There's very few instances where I feel like you need to do it every week. But again, it also depends on the characteristics of your hair, the products that you're using, and how consistent you are with actually being intentional with all of those things. So you don't necessarily have to adjust the window just because you have gray hair. That's the short of it all. But you do need to be intentional about setting an appropriate schedule, which you can do every 6 weeks, depending on the needs and necessity that your hair requires for you to do that.
So if you guys are just joining us, make sure you drop your comments in the drop your questions in the comments. Ooh, child. But also we're going to get to these ingredients. So I know one of the I'll say the comments right now, and then I want us to get into glycerin.
Okay.
So just to confirm, you mean to clarify with a clarifying shampoo and just regular wash every 7 to 10 days based on the lifestyle. Right. She's saying regular washing, but clarifying with a clarifying shampoo as needed or on a routine basis, meaning like once a month or depending on how heavy the products are. Yes. And just because I was using different styles this summer, I did rod sets. Rod sets typically use like foams. So technically, I mean, we'll get to breaking down the foam, but that would be regular washing with a routine clarifier. What do you say, Dr. Kristal? Same, right?
That is the same, right?
Okay.
And because foams tend to be water soluble, you should not anticipate a significant amount of buildup.
Okay. So foams are water soluble. So that is something that we need to understand. What is water soluble?
Water soluble means that it is easily dissolved in water. So when you think about anything, like if you even think about household items, like if I put this thing in water, how easily would it fall apart? So if I put some butter in water, or if I put some oil in water, how easily will that water dissolve that butter or that oil? The answer is without heat, not at all. So things that tend to not dissolve well in water are not considered water soluble, which means it's going to take some extra effort, some extra ingredients, some different kind of products in order to fully remove that type of thing from your hair. Things that are water soluble, when I drop this thing in water, we'll say like salt and sugar. If I stir it up a little bit, it's going to dissolve. And so those things tend to be more water soluble. So if I put this thing in my hair and then I wet it, how easily is the water going to cause it to be removed from my hair? So when you're thinking about things that are water soluble, these are the kind of things that you should ask yourself when selecting products. Again, intentionality is my thing, but these are the kind of things you should ask yourself when selecting products. And that will also help you to better assess the frequency with which you should be clarifying your hair. So if I put something that is not water soluble in my hair, will my regular shampoo be able to effectively remove it in its entirety from my hair? And if the answer is no, then you need to consider, after however many times I've used this product, at which point does it then begin to affect the way my curls show up? Does it begin to affect what I feel in terms of whether or not my hair is dry? How does it affect what I feel when I think my hair is frizzy? All of these things that I, in most situations, don't want to have. When I'm using this product and I start to notice all of these things, then your red flag should go off and be like, okay, now it's time for me to clarify, if you haven't already set a regular schedule. Or like I do, I say, okay, I know I'm using something that is not absolutely the best, but it is the best for what I'm trying to do with my hair right now. So I'm going to use this product, I'm going to get the look I want to get, and then I'm going to clarify my hair and go about my business. Because when I go to my regular styling, I want my hair to perform the way I know it already can. And so those are things that you just need to consider when it comes to like setting a routine for washing your hair with a clarifying agent, and then deciphering if a product is water soluble or not.
So besides foam, if I'm looking to see if a product is water soluble, what would that product consist of ingredient wise?
Ingredient.
So I'm not gonna tell you what product this is, but you let me know if it's water soluble. Because I feel like we need a deeper dive, okay?
Okay.
Because everybody's
Going
like,
deep.
okay, foam is water soluble, but what else, right? So I'm gonna read, we'll do 5 ingredients, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's play the 5 ingredient game. The first 5 ingredient game, and let's see if this product is water soluble. I already have my answer in my head, okay? You guys drop it in the comments if you think this is water soluble or not water soluble, okay? So the first ingredient is aqua, which is water. The next ingredient is propanediol. The next ingredient is acrylates copolymer. The next ingredient is maltodextrin. The next ingredient is sorbitol. Sorbitol.
Okay. So there's some sorbitol in there. You said there's a what now? Some kind of
There's
copolymer.
Yep. There's a sorbitol, a copolymer, a maltodextrin, which is another copolymer, and the propanediol, 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 and water.
So it starts with water, which in most situations is amazing. It has a lot of, so I'm gonna say this first. Don't let words scare you, because sometimes, because everything essentially has a chemical formulation. Um, and I was looking at some drugs, just regular. I was doing a continuing education last night. Why we pick the words that we pick for products or for ingredients is beyond me. Why can't we just call it what it
Yeah,
is and let it be what it is?
yeah,
Why do we have to have X, Y's, I's, and U's all together?
yeah.
And I'm saying this as a pharmacist. So if you struggle to pronounce a word, it automatically creates a level of complexity, because now not only can you pronounce it, but now you're thinking, I don't even know what this thing actually is, right? And which makes it seem super, super, super mysterious and complex when it comes to reading a label and actually figuring out what an ingredient is inside of a product. So don't always let the words confuse you or intimidate you, and don't always think because a word sounds like another word that you've heard, that it is necessarily the same type of thing, because all alls aren't alcohol, all copolymers aren't plastic, even though some of them are. So you just have to, you shouldn't have to be a scientist to read a label, but you do also have to grant yourself some grace and not just generalize everything, because everything is not always what we think it is. So I will say that, just because sometimes we look at a thing and we say because it rhymes with something else that it is another thing, and a lot of times it is not. So that's just like a disclaimer when it comes to reading product labels. But I would say, now that I said all of that, I'm gonna need you to tell me what these products are again, because
I just put it in the comments.
okay,
So it looks like everybody thinks that it's not water
not water
soluble,
soluble.
not water soluble, not water soluble. I believe that it is water soluble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person that's holding this product. I'm the
Yes.
only person that know what the product is, but
Yes.
I do believe it's water soluble because one thing that I use
Mm-hmm.
is putting something on my hand. And once I put it on my hair, if I wash my hands and I don't feel a film, I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. This is water soluble. Okay. So the ingredients are in the comments. And although it says that, I know when using this product and the way it feels, because some products, when you wash your hands, you have a film
Film on it.
and you just like, this don't feel like this going to do what it's going to do. But this product right here, I believe is water soluble, just based off the fact, am I right when it comes to that?
So Yes, that is a great way to tell if your products are water soluble. Things that will dissolve easier in water. If you put a little bit on your hand and you wash it off and it goes away, that means it is able to dissolve in water. One of the things that allows a product to be water soluble, besides the ingredients, is also the way that it's formulated. So if the molecules are smaller, um, it gives it the ability to be broken down with a lot less effort. So that is something that you can't tell by looking at a product label. You will never be able to know how a product is formulated just by looking at the label, which is a caveat, or a nuance that we should always consider, because reading ingredients alone does not always give you enough information to help you make an informed decision about what is in a product. So there are ways to test it. Now, do I need to buy every product and figure that out? No. But there are ways to figure it out. This is one way that you can assess if a product is water soluble or not. If I put it on my hand and I rub it in and I wet it, is it going to go away? Then it's water soluble. If I put lotion on my hand and I rub it in and I wash it, it does it not go away? Then it's not water soluble. If it takes a little bit more effort or some soap, which is also why I like some lotions, because they aren't water soluble, but they tend to be more oily.
Yeah.
But if I was a pharmacist, or as a human in this COVID era, washing my hands all the time, I need something that is going to help keep my hands soft every time, so I don't have to put something on every time. And so it's a thing to consider, that you can apply to your hair care as well. How can I determine if this thing is water soluble? So that is a good way to determine if something is water soluble. And it is a very good point that just by reading the words, you might not always know. So intentionality and a little bit of experimentation is necessary in order for you to understand, or find a trusted girlfriend that has already gone through the work to understand products, and then take their vetted advice with receipts.
Right. So West Indian gal, you were right on the money. I don't know why you're stalking me in my house and know what I'm reading. Honey, she must have had her product ready,
So she
child.
had
She
it
was
in
like, I know exactly what that is.
her
And you're absolutely right. It was a gel. It was
It
a
is a
gel.
gel.
I'm not going to name the product, but it was a gel. So the next thing that I'm going to read off, and like Dr. Kristal said, if it starts off with water, that's a great thing, because what the first three products they use, it's more concentrated, right? Meaning that they use more of it. So they use mostly water, and then they added this, and then they added this, like that. So that's why we pay attention to the first 3 to 5 ingredients when it comes to the products. But like she says, you don't know how they formulated it. But one way, because I'm always looking for simpler ways for consumers to figure things out on their own, because with this natural hair journey, we shouldn't have to need someone to hold our hand the entire time. There should be certain things that we should be able to do at home. I like a nice hack. I like a nice trick. Y'all know I like to call myself the black female MacGyver. I'm going to figure it out. Okay. So
Yes.
putting the product on your hand and seeing how it washes off your hand will let you know, oh, this going to have a little film, but that's okay. I'm going to clarify in a couple of weeks. So, oh, this is water soluble, so I can wash my hair how I normally wash my hair. So the next product I'll read, and you guys will know, is it water soluble or isn't it? Drop your answers in the comments. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this product, okay? So you ready, Dr. Kristal?
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah.
You can't always test it before you buy it, so all you have are the ingredients. That is correct.
And
But
in
like
that
Dr.
case,
Kristal said,
yeah, we're looking at water. Water is heavy in this product. And so I can anticipate that if there's a significant amount of water in it, then it will be more water soluble than something where the first ingredient is not water.
and most black-owned companies will let you know. So that's a tip. Okay.
And that's a good
So
thing. I would say from a consumer standpoint, because we do drive the market when it comes to what people are creating. When we are more focused on products that are water soluble, people say, hey, they want that. Let me create it. There was a time, and there may still, where we were focused on products that were very creamy and heavy and oily. And so they made all of those things because they thought that's what we wanted or needed. So we can drive the production of products just by being more informed and intentional ourselves. So that's just a thing to consider.
You ready for the next product?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, drop your answers in the comments. Okay, so I think it's the first ingredient might give it away, but I'm just going to read them off anyway. Okay? Okay. So, first ingredient, and I'm not going to read in the parentheses. I'm just going to read the ingredients outside the parentheses. You guys ready? All right. Mineral oil, olive oil, babasu oil, carrot oil, castor oil, menthol.
I'm going to go ahead and go up here and give you this clarifying shampoo right now because, ma'am.
Listen, I have to bring variety because some
Yes,
of us have things in our cabinets, in our closets that we weren't willing to let go of. And so, wondering why I have this product, I'll let you know after Dr. Kristal answers.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Malibu Undo Goo because we need to get to work. Like, and I will just, y'all, it's not water soluble. But to that point, I work with a girlfriend that had been consistently putting a product like this in her hair. And when we did a wash session, her hair was, well, first of all, she came in, her hair was straight. I thought she had blown it out. No, it was because she was consistently using a product like what my dear friend Jazzy just read off. And it had built up on her hair to the point where she walked in looking like her hair was straight, even though she had a natural curl, not a wave, an actual curl to her hair. And it required multiple sessions of Malibu in order to get it to a place where she could actually see and realize that she had a curl. She's like, something's wrong with my hair. I said, I can tell. So
I'm glad that nobody knew what this product was. That means that we're all on a better journey of doing better with our hair. But I will let you know that this was a green like braid spray. It's literally a braid. It's a braid and lock spray. And it's to add sheen to synthetic hair. So it's not necessarily for your hair, but it's to add sheen to the synthetic hair. That's why I have this product. So calm down, okay?
But things that have sheen, things that add sheen have a place, but we should not be, when we're wearing our hair out, using products that add sheen and shine in replace of actually doing the work that requires us to improve the health of our hair. Just a little gem for y'all, because we can use things that finishing products that add a little razzle dazzle to our style, but those products do not replace the actual work that we should be doing to improve the health of our hair.
Yeah. Some gel toppers that I did use for my wash and go had glycerin. And I know we mentioned glycerin in the beginning. Let's talk about glycerin.
Let's talk about glycerin. So I will say this, glycerin is a humectant, just like some of the other products that are in our botanical gels that draw moisture to the hair, that pull the moisture out of the environment, that help hold the moisture that was already in the hair. So it is a humectant. And so this is what I will say, and I have said before, natural products are not necessarily good or bad. It's the way they're formulated, the way they're paired with other ingredients. These things matter, and then the way it actually acts or reacts in your hair. Now, some of the gels we love, whether you flip it over or not, have glycerin in them. So how you use glycerin, and if you're using it formulated in a quality product versus you went to the grocery store, because I did talk to a girlfriend about this in the store as well. She was just going into the store, buying the Ocoee brand glycerin and putting it in her hair. I would not necessarily recommend that because it's just not the best way to approach caring for your hair. But glycerin formulated properly in a product can be beneficial for people who hair responds well to glycerin. So it's just something to, I don't necessarily, natural products aren't always necessarily good or bad. We like to put things in a box and say, this is bad, don't ever use it. But if you look at some of the gels that are water soluble that we like to use, and you read the first 3 to 5 ingredients, it is right up there at the top. And you are singing praises of this product, but it has this thing in it that we automatically want to label as bad. Consider your environment. Again, consider your lifestyle. Consider the characteristics of your hair and what your hair needs before assessing if a thing is good or bad for you. Now, are some ingredients bad? Yes, they are typically synthetic because of the risks that are associated with those products and what they can do to your body. But in general, formulation matters. How a product is formulated, how the ingredients are paired, where the ingredients fall on the list, all of this stuff matters. So I wouldn't necessarily say that glycerin is bad. Glycerin does what it is supposed to do when we don't use it wrong, when it is not formulated, or we don't use it right, when it's not formulated correctly, then we won't always get the results that we desire. Now, are there some humectants that might not be as heavy as glycerin? Are there some humectants that might give you a better result than glycerin? Are there some humectants that won't weigh the hair down the same way glycerin does? Of course. So that is where it comes to being informed and intentional about the products that you select, so that you can get the results you desire, even if you are using a product that contains glycerin.
I love how one of my girlfriends in the comments says it might be good for frying chicken. LOL. Okay. Okay. Hilarious. Okay, great. So we talked about reading a label. We talked about looking at stuff, washing our hands. So can we go off of look? Can we go off of look?
Look.
So I'm going to put something on my hand. I like breaking stuff down, Dr. Kristal. I'm going to put something on my hand, and it's not the what we usually use, but it's another form of it.
Okay. Looks like a foam.
It is.
And so what am I supposed to be, what do you want me to tell you based on looking at it?
So looking at the product on my hand and feeling how lightweight it is, can I go off of that for water soluble? Can I look at how it is and then like, okay, like I'm wiping it off, it dries quickly. Can I go off of a feel is what I'm asking you. And look, so look, feel like that. Can I do that?
Is it water soluble?
Huh?
To determine if it's water soluble?
Yes.
Okay. You can generally go off of a look and the feel, or you can use the look and the feel to kind of help you better understand if a product is water soluble. Again, if it feels oily, if it feels greasy, chances are it is not water soluble. If it feels light and airy, if it slides well through your hands, chances are that it'll be able to rinse well and easily off. So you can look at a thing in some instances and then be better able to assess if it is water soluble, because things that tend to be heavier when you touch it, things that tend to be greasier when you touch it, those kind of things you can automatically look at and assume this is going to take a little bit more work or a different kind of shampoo in order to actually remove it from my hair.
Okay. So there's a way to do look and feel the product. And most stores are like, hey, if it doesn't work for you, bring it back. And we can basically test it on our own on whether we want to continue to use this product. I like to think that everybody has a place in this community. Professionals have a place. Of course, if you partner with a stylist, they're going to let you know, hey, I just want you to stick to this regimen. Please don't do anything outside of this regimen if you have like hair goals that we're trying to accomplish. Also, influencers have a place. Influencer will let you know, like, hey, this product right here is water soluble. It's going to rinse out my hair. I don't have to clarify it as much, and it's not going to cause buildup. Okay. Your advocate here is going to search and get the person that we can talk to get those direct answers so we can do some things on our own. In this community, we want to stick to teaching and learning from each other and making sure that we get the right answers that we need at our fingertips. Okay. Can you elaborate between synthetic and natural polymers? Are synthetic polymers bad or good?
So synthetic just means it was lab generated and it did not come from the environment. And so bad or good without actually looking at it, is a hard distinction to clearly make. Or like, do I say it's synthetic and that means it's automatically bad? No, because some synthetic things were made and have gone through a rigorous process to ensure that is the best quality possible. Some synthetic things were made and have gone through a process to ensure that it is the cheapest formulation as possible. And so since I don't have to spend as much money, I'm just gonna get that thing and I'm gonna put it in this product and I'm gonna give it to you. So just because it's synthetic does not necessarily mean that it is bad. And you can really just apply that rule of thumb to both synthetic and natural, because some natural products go through a rigorous process of breaking that thing down to the smallest effective molecule so that it doesn't contribute to buildup or so that it is more water soluble. Where some people say, hey, this is raw any kind of butter, and it didn't go through the same process, so it is going to be heavier, it is going to be less water soluble, it is going to cause more buildup. And so those are just things that you have to consider. And I know as a consumer sometimes it's hard, but this is why you also need to get to know the brands that you are getting your products from. While they might not tell you all of the ins and outs of how they went through formulating or creating a product, you can tell a person's integrity, you can tell like how informed and intentional they are about the products that they create, just by taking a moment to get to know the brand itself. So some brands may not be as intentionally formulated as others, and so those are brands I tend to try to stay away from. I want to know what made you create this product. I want to know what was the pain point or the need that you were trying to address, or did you just jump on the bandwagon because you saw everybody was trying to find a curly hair product? I'm not attracted to products that say I'm gonna make a curl.
Right.
You're not gonna make a curl in my hair. If I wanted to make a curl, I would get a curly perm. So this is just things to consider and things to think about. What is the intentionality and integrity of the products or the brands that you are patronizing? That can give you a clue into the intentionality that they took to create the products that you are purchasing. And so synthetic doesn't always mean that it is bad, because I can need a synthetic ingredient in a product to do a thing that a natural ingredient might not be able to do as well. When I'm a small business, I can use all natural ingredients and give it a shelf life that is short, because I'm gonna make this small batch, I'm gonna sell it, you go use it, and I only make it when I run out. When I become larger and I'm meeting the needs of more people, I may need to incorporate different synthetic or natural ingredients into my product, because now I'm mass producing this thing and it's going to need to sit on the shelf for a certain amount of time. And I don't want you to get my product and then it has separated, or it smells bad, or it's doing something that is actually going to hurt you because I only focused on specific ingredients, but they didn't have the shelf life or the longevity that I needed in order to serve you well or at the highest level. So synthetic doesn't always mean bad, but there should be some intentionality behind the products or the ingredients that go into these products, so that even if it is synthetic, it is not causing you any harm.
I love that. I love that you broke that down as far as the small business using mostly all natural ingredients into going larger, and then them having to add synthetic for that shelf life for preservatives, right? And so just like you vet your stylist, vet the company that you're supporting, and look at those reviews. I'm telling you right now, listen, even if you don't read books on the regular, read the reviews, okay? Read the reviews, because the reviews will tell you this product did this to my hair. And you can just go off of what everybody is saying. There's going to be a general, like, what do you say, thing that everybody has in common. There's going to be like something that everybody has in common for this one product.
Right.
And that's like that general thing that comes with this product. Oh, this product washes out well, though.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any issues getting it out of my hair. It only lasted this long. My style only lasted this long. So make sure that you are reading those comments, going to the story and the history of the company and why they made the product, just like Dr. Kristal said, and figure out, is this the best product for me?
Right.
And some of the times it just takes us to read a bio, to read a review, and just know like, yeah, no, I'm not interested, or yes, I appreciate this. This is for the culture. Let's keep it moving. Amanda said, can you be a healthy vegan while giving your hair all of the necessary nutrients that your hair needs?
I think you can be a healthy vegan. So, because you can get protein in food in different ways other than just animal protein. There are plant proteins, but then you have to be intentional about understanding how much you need to eat, what types of things you need to eat in order to appropriately nourish your body. I would recommend, if you are a vegan, sitting down with your physician or a nutritionist, somebody that can help you create a meal plan or give you better information on what types of protein are necessary to maintain the health of your body, because there are healthy vegans out there whose hair is flourishing, and whose bodies are flourishing. Being intentional about what you eat, girlfriends, is actually very important when it comes to the health of our hair and health of our bodies in general. So it is, I'm not telling anybody to be vegan, but it is something to consider. But I think you can successfully be a vegan and be healthy. You just have to be very intentional about what you eat, how you're eating, and making sure that you're getting the appropriate amount of nutrients, the appropriate amount of proteins. And sometimes that requires more than just saying, I'm not going to eat meat, I'm only going to eat vegetables, but actually sitting down with a nutritionist, sitting down with your physician if they are well versed in that area, and then better being able to understand what types of plant-based foods you should be consuming in order to get the best amount of nutrients that will then provide your body the health and the nourishment that it needs in order to allow your hair to flourish. And so you need to be a healthy vegan. So you need to make sure, just eating vegetables by itself doesn't always mean that you're being healthy. So you do need to be intentional about what you're eating, the proportions of the food that you're eating. Because I've had plenty of people tell me that they're vegan, but they eat potato chips. I'm not saying that you can't eat potato chips, but if this is a staple of your vegan diet, you're not going to be any more healthier than I am if I'm still eating meat. So you really just need to take into consideration what you're eating, the proportions of what you're eating, and making sure that you are eating the appropriate amount of plant-based protein in various forms in order to supplement the protein that you weren't getting from meat, because people have thrived not eating meat for centuries. So it can be done. You just have to make sure that you're doing it the right way, and that sometimes requires an additional professional to help you.
That's a great point. I love that point, because if we treat our bodies with respect and treat it from the inside, you'll see it on the outside, right? So even when it comes down to like skincare and stuff like that, it's like the first thing that if you ask a doctor or you ask an esthetician or you ask a dermatologist, like, what can I do? Okay, how much water are you drinking?
Right.
That's a question. Okay. What are you eating? That's a question. So remembering that we can't always depend on just the products doing the work on the outside. We also have to do the work on the inside of our bodies. And, you know, you got to give up them lemon pepper wings with the mild sauce sometimes. Sometimes you got to step away from that Italian beef sometimes.
Just sometimes. Just sometimes. But I think that is very important. And even from a medical standpoint, when it comes to making sure that our patients are healthy, the first thing that we encourage people to do is lifestyle modifications. That means that you are addressing and assessing the way that you eat. You are addressing and assessing how much water you're consuming. You are addressing and assessing how active you are, because all of this stuff matters. And when we notice things with our hair, it is oftentimes a red flag that something internally is not right or something internally is going wrong. So when we're having hair loss, when we're having hair shedding, even my CE was on alopecia, but even down to that level, there's an autoimmune thing or some kind of internal thing that is working to cause these things to manifest. So it is very important Healthy hair requires a healthy body, which requires a healthy lifestyle in general. And that is something that we should always consider and to take into mind, because the first approach to anything is making sure that we are cultivating an environment that allows our body to thrive, which means we need to be more mindful about what we eat. We need to be more mindful about how active we are, about how much water we consume, because all of that stuff matters and affects the way that the things that we see externally show up.
And minimizing stress levels, because
Yes,
mental health can affect hair loss as well.
it
So
definitely
all in
can.
all, like not depending on the product, but also doing the work ourselves and partnering with those stylists or vetting our content creators, influencers, and these companies that we are using for the products that we use.
Very true.
Did we touched glycerin already, correct?
We touched on glycerin. Since we eat meat, we go fry our chicken with it.
That's what she said. That's what she said. And then it was just like, listen, step away, and then dot dot dot. Just sometimes. So, Sweetness is asking, do you recommend any daily vitamins? That's something that you want to get with your primary care about, as far as what your body needs. But Dr. Kristal, can you elaborate?
I would say vitamin requirements are oftentimes individualized, because what my body might need will be different from what your body might need. A general rule of thumb that I tell people when they are looking at products over the counter, you're in the pharmacy, you feel like you want to buy a certain kind of multivitamin or you want to buy an individual vitamin. One of the things that matters is if it is USP certified or if it goes through a process. It's called like good manufacturing processes that actually require them to take certain steps. So most over-the-counter things are not regulated the same way as prescription medications are. So the FDA goes in and regulates the way we make prescription medications. They have to go through trials. They have to go through all of this research to vet that it actually does what it says it's going to do. Over-the-counter products don't necessarily always have to go through that same process, especially when it comes to, like, we call them naturalceuticals or nutraceuticals. So when it comes to these type of products that are like vitamins, I look personally as a pharmacist for products that might say that they're USP certified or that they go through this good manufacturing process, because it is an extra step that is requiring them to be intentional about what they do, that is requiring them to actually make sure that they are being safe and that there's some standard or protocol that they follow in order to make sure that these things are processed or created in a safe way. So it is something that you can look for. If it's not on there, it doesn't always mean that it is a bad product or that they was mixing this up in their bathroom sink, but it is an extra layer of protection that allows you to feel a little bit better about the way things are made. Again, there's not always guarantees, but it is an extra level or extra step or extra pair of eyes that are coming in and making sure that these people are doing things right. We can't always absolutely remove risk, but we can be more intentional about the products that we choose and the products that we put in our body. And another thing, from a consumer standpoint, that you should consider, it is illegal for products that are not prescription to make health claims, or they should not be making health claims about what they will do for your body, because in a lot of times the research just isn't there and it doesn't go through that same FDA vetting process. So just be mindful of things that are promising you that it will do a certain thing. They can say it may promote this or it may contribute to this, but in most cases, it's not going to give you a definite this is going to happen, because again, more research needs to be done, especially when it comes to natural products, on the amount, the quantity, the formulation that needs to be, I'm talking about natural products we ingest, the formulation of those products in order to say that it is actually effective. So yes, certain products may help or promote hair growth. Yes, certain products may encourage a healthy aesthetic look to your hair, but what amount, like how much of this do I need to consume in order to get the result that they say I'm going to get. So it's just something to be mindful about, because I've had a lot of people come in the store looking for specific products that are going to do a thing. I personally, based on integrity, would never sell anybody anything that says it's going to grow your hair, just because from a ethical standpoint, these ingredients may contribute to hair growth, but at what amount, at what consistency, at what quantity is it going to actually be able to do that? And it's not going to give people the level of result that they are requiring or desiring, and the speed with which that they are desiring it. And so that's just something to consider. Looking to see if it's USP certified, looking to see if they follow good manufacturing processes, and if it's promising you a thing, I would kind of steer away from it, just because you can't promise a thing without the appropriate amount of research. So just some things to consider.
Awesome. I just got a comment that I was experiencing a lot of hair loss, and when I went to the doctor, I found out I was severely deficient in iron and vitamin D. Since taking supplements, I've noticed the improvement in my health. I'm the same way. And that's the thing in the African American community too, is that low vitamin D deficiency, and getting blood work done and going to see your doctor is one of the things that can help you and like clear up some things, right? Things that you may not know might happen. And as we get older, we find out that, hey, this body does this now, and I need to help it a little bit further. And that's just partnering with your doctor and getting the essential things that you need. Like I said, working from the inside, and what's on the inside will show on the outside.
That is very true. If anybody's on here that does not have a relationship with their physician, I would encourage you to get one. My physician personally is very, very thorough. I will be getting more blood work. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me, but this is going to be the 4th time she wants me to get some blood drawn. I was like, girl, I'm glad, because in a lot of situations, minority populations in general do not have a good relationship or a very thorough physician. If you can find a physician that looks like you, that's a plus. But just because they don't does not mean they do not care. Build the relationship, ask the questions, and make sure that you are advocating for yourself in all of those situations as well. And a lot of times doctors can tell you which supplements to get, what kind of supplements you need in order to help you get to a place where you are healthier. That can also kind of mitigate some of the issues that you might be experiencing or seeing when it comes to your hair.
Awesome. Well, I want to wrap things up now, because like we've took a big dive. Ingredients. We played the water soluble, not water soluble game. We've talked about the body inside and out, what we can do to advocate for products for ourselves, how we can test it at home, and reading those reviews. I feel like we've covered it off the bases. I want to let you guys know we want to continue to get you the necessary information. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, follow Dr. Kristal at Bold Kulture Beauty, and follow me, Jazzy Frazier, as your tight curl consumer advocate. And I'll continue to get more information. And we look forward to partnering up in December.
Yes, I am super, super, super excited. We are doing a curl party here at Bold Kulture Beauty. If you were familiar with the one in Atlanta, we are bringing it to Orlando. I have already reached out. And so I'm also very excited, because it's just going to be a culmination of a lot of things that has been happening here at Bold Kulture Beauty. So I'm super, super, super excited about that. Stay tuned, because I've already been reaching out to people, brands in general, because I'm trying to make this like super, super. So some of your favorite brands might be joining us as well. Y'all just stay tuned. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of everything. And I'm looking forward to it being an amazing, amazing, amazing event. Like I'm super excited already just thinking about it. But like, people are ready for me, waiting for me to give them more details so they can give me what I need in order to make this a good thing. So I'm just really, really, really excited about that. And I would love for every curl friend that is able to come and join this. I want to pack this mall out so big that we got to be out in the main part of the mall and not just in the store. So y'all stay tuned, because I think it's going to be so much fun. It has been a pleasure talking to y'all today. if y'all have more questions, I feel like there were a few more questions in the that you sent me, in the message that you sent me. I'm not sure. But if there's a question that you had that we did not address, I would be, you know what? For the rest of the day, if you send me a question, you can DM me, or this will be posted. You can drop your questions under there. I will do my best to answer your questions directly. If you are in the Orlando area, pop in the store. We can talk all day long. Literally, I will be here. So just make sure, girlfriends, if you have a question, ask, because I feel like our power comes from being informed, and applied knowledge is power. And so I want as many girlfriends as possible to be informed so that they can be the experts on their hair, so that they can make informed decisions, and so that they can ultimately make their natural experience more enjoyable and easier. So bring me your questions today only. Like, if you send me a question tomorrow, I can't promise I'm gonna answer it, but because I gotta rest. But if you send me some questions today, I will do my best to answer those questions for you, because I think it is very, very, very important that we as consumers, that we as girlfriends, that we as people in general that are concerned about our health and actually being well, mind, body, and spirit, that we need to be informed and able to do that. And so I want to empower you and give you the tools, the support, and the access that you need to make that all possible. So today, you got a question that we did not answer here, shoot me a message and I will be more than happy to help answer for you. Now, don't bring me no medical questions. My white coat is hanging somewhere else. So I will, if you got a medical question, I'm going to refer you to a physician until you go find your doctor. But if you have questions about hair care, about selecting products, I actually made a real cool guide for y'all that helps you better understand how to select products. It's called the Girlfriend's Guide to Selecting Products. But if you got some general questions that you want to shoot me, go ahead and do it. If we didn't answer all of the questions that Jessie sent me before, go ahead and do it.
Where's the store located?
Oh, we're located in the West Oaks Mall. It is in the greater Orlando area. It's on the west side of Orlando. So definitely, if you are in Orlando, please come by and check us out. We are here today. We're here every day except Wednesdays and Sundays. So definitely drop by. We would love, love, love to see you in the store. Now, I'm not always here, but I am here today. So if you can make it happen, I'll be here and I would love to see you. And so thank y'all so much. Thank you, Jessie. It's always a pleasure. I mean, I wish we lived closer, because they were like, Dr. Kristal, I thought you was out of store. I was like, no, I was hanging out with Jessie today.
You are Florida bestie. And before I get off this live, just so you guys know, I'm also affiliated with Bold Kulture Beauty. So if you would like to purchase any products online, she does ship. Purchase products online, you can always use my name, Jazzy Frazier, for a discount code. All right?
You absolutely can. And so, yeah, definitely check us out. You're looking for some good ingredients? I mean, good products with good ingredients? We got them. And you know what else? It is my mission to build a relationship with the owners of the brands that I have in the store. So, y'all, I'm not just doing this thing, getting products and put them in the store, but I'm trying to build an actual working relationship. I want to know you so that I can better know your brand. So, all things to consider. Like, I am serious about this thing because I want us all to win on these natural journeys. And so it is like my heart's work. And I really want y'all to get to a place where y'all are comfortable and confident. And this is why I'm doing this. So thank y'all again. Jessie, I absolutely adore you. It has been a pleasure, girlfriends. I appreciate y'all rocking with us because we've been on here for a minute. And until next time, guys, go boldly.